Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar session. Today's agenda is how you can train your customers from within Jira Service Desk using EduBrite's integration. So EduBrite platform has integration that is available in Atlassian Marketplace. So if you are using Jira Service Desk, you can find that add-on or app. Sometimes it is known also as a plugin. Your administrator can install it. So Jira Service Desk primarily it's used for IT service management or help desk related use cases is what it is solving. From our experience, we know that the knowledge base that is available in the help desk, if you're using a conference integration, is not enough to create an effective solution for the success of your customers. So you need to provide some trainings, having some options for a formal training or some informal training options available. And that's what we are going to discuss in today's meeting. This is Manish Gupta, and I have been joined by my co-presenter, Brian Rush. So here's a quick agenda, a quick overview, where we will talk about the integration, the benefits of integration. We'll try to cover some of the use cases also, followed by a demonstration and a Q&A session. So with this, I'm going to hand it over to my co-presenter, Brian.
Thank you, Manish. With case deflection as one of the primary use cases of this tool, we want to catch the customer who's ready to create a support case within the Jira Service Desk at the point of identifying the issue, and then circumvent that case creation by providing links to relevant training content, which the customer can then resolve the issue independently with. If the recommendation training didn't resolve the issue and the customer still submits the case, at least the agent has the case history and can see what the customer has attempted in resolving the issue. Also, accessing the customer's transcript has the potential to help the agent discern how experienced the user may be. And then with the integrated dashboard built right into Service Desk, customers can consume training without switching over to a different application. So the first thing you're probably thinking is, as Manish mentioned earlier, if Jira Service Desk is already integrated with Confluence, why do I need to add EduBrite as well? The major differentiator is the content delivery options. A KB article is static text and images, whereas a lesson in EduBrite can be anything from a video to a presentation or a document. So it's more about educating your customers than it is just solving an immediate problem. It's making it more of a long-term solution. And with that, the content granularity that we have available in EduBrite, as opposed to many other LMSs, allows us to extend past the course to the lesson. And lessons can reside in any depth of the modules or the submodules, also called topics. So that provides just enough, just-in-time training so we can target the specificity of the actual nugget of information inside the course without sending them to a full-blown course that they would have to sift through. Open learning is also at the lesson level. Open learning is EduBrite's micro-training solution. So with the self-serve model, having the ability of the customer to look directly at training immediately is an empowerment more than a burden for them. So by helping them help themselves, we get happier customers by having more potential for a quick resolution with the instantly provided links and their self-satisfaction of resolving the issue swiftly and autonomously. Likewise, for the customer success organization, they have better metrics with fewer support cases generated, and the agents are able to work on more complex cases. And with this, I'm going to hand it over to Manish for a demonstration.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. So let's directly get into the demonstration. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Let me go to the, okay. So I'm going to switch my view between the two experiences in the Jira Service Desk. We know that there are two primary roles in the Jira Service Desk. One is a customer who is looking to get some assistance, and then the second role is of agent, basically who is trying to assist customer service. Before getting into detail, just wanted to share a little background that we have been in this industry for quite long, and we also have an integration with Atlassian server, and that integration with Atlassian servers is available through another app which is called a Gilly, which is again an LMS app. And we introduced this app roughly about 8 years back into the integrating with the Confluence. So that is being used pretty heavily by many customers. And a couple of years back, Conference Cloud was getting more popular and more people are more adapting. We released another integration, which the same Gillies integration, we expanded it to the cloud. So essentially, if you see, it's a progression which we have. We started with the conference server, we went to Conference Cloud. Now we are on the Jira Service Desk. And one of the questions, as Ben was trying to answer, why did we go to Jira Service Desk? Because one of the things you want to make sure you not only provide the training, which is pretty specific to what learner needs, and a better educated customer essentially is we all are looking for. But beyond that, another benefit is that kind of a delivery you can provide. So that's what I'm going to show you. So for example, as a customer, if you come here and if you're trying to search some item here, you will immediately notice that if you have a conference integration, some of the conference items would show up here. So this integration which we are discussing today, EduBrite LMS integration, now you would be able to present some of the trainings to your learner. So these trainings, they are available in different formats. So as Brian was talking earlier, that we can present course to a learner. A course is essentially your learning content, which is multiple learning contents that are organized inside a course. But the biggest benefit you would see is the lesson. And what is lesson? So let me just quickly launch one of the lesson, and then you will be able to understand. Lesson as an individual content or individual content unit, which could be a video, which could be a PDF, which could be a PowerPoint, anything. And your learner can immediately start consuming that. And you can see it keeps track. So for example, when I came here, it is showing that this learner has already started viewing this before, so it starts at a 42nd second in this particular case. So the LMS platform understands who is this learner, and then essentially if they have viewed this video previously, they can obviously start from the beginning, but it allows them to resume from where they have left. Now, from the search result perspective, we always are presenting a pretty relevant search. We are using a machine learning logic, so as you have more and more data, it would provide you more relevant search on the top, so that it helps to resolve the issues for your customer. So those are the view which I have shown you was related to a lesson. So lessons are normally useful if you have a simple scenarios, simple problem solution you want to present. But you may have some problems where you need a little bit more, they may be complex in nature, and the better way to address them is either offering through some sort of instructor-led trainings, instructor-led courses, those kind of things. So you can see that those are also available here. And now these options are configurable, so you can control that what kind of a learning content you want to present to your end user. So you can present the lessons. You can also present the events. So for example, this user can simply subscribe to an event, and if they're interested in joining this event, they can join this event. And this event could be instructor-led sessions, so they could be a classroom training, or they could be an online training event also, like we offer integration with WebEx, Zoom, GoToMeeting, GoToTraining. So if that kind of a training session is launched, then they can is available, then they can enroll into that event also. And here they would be able to see the more detail, if there are any handouts are available and those kind of things. And if it is a live training, then they would see a join button right in this area, and on the day of a training, they will be able to join those training sessions. So that's another option that can be presented to deflect the support cases or educate your customer. Another option which could be available for them is to get trained by going through some formal training. So you can see some of the courses are available here. If in this case, I can see there's no enroll button, this means this user has previously enrolled into this particular course session, but they can enroll into a course session which they find it relevant. And all they have to do essentially is, after enrolling, they can just simply click it to launch it, and it will launch EduBrite Course Player. And so this is a course player. Now this is a short course right now for the demo perspective, but you can see you can have multiple modules here and multiple learning content. So a user can go through a series of items to get trained on any item which they are looking for. So for example, if I just quickly take this, just to quickly show you a quick experience here. So this is a lesson. And I can, for the time being, just quickly click next. You can set up some rules where if you want your learners to spend some amount of time, you can define those kind of rules. So for example, right now I can just simply select option here, and then so once this customer completes this course, they will get a congratulations prompt. They will get notified they have completed, and you can also award them a certificate if you want to, and this certificate can be customized for your customers who are using this platform. So this is kind of an experience from the customer perspective. So in addition to when they're searching, you're presenting the relevant training, there's another option which is available here on their profile is a training. So let me just open that just to quickly show you what is that. So this presents a training dashboard, and the training dashboard essentially shows the different courses this user is enrolled into, what are the courses this user has completed, and if there are any instructor-led sessions they are enrolled into. So this experience is very similar to the experience which we already have available with the Confluence integration. So it's no different. The benefit, of course, here is that if you have a customer and if you understand the nature of a customer, there could be certain courses you can pre-enroll this learner to, and then they can take those courses. And so essentially, you're setting up few methods to better educate your customers, and the end goal essentially for you to deflect the support cases. So in this case, let's say after going through everything, this learner still wants to open a ticket and they are not satisfied with the information that is available, so they can continue here and they can open a ticket. So for example, if they have a question, how can I view the reports or graphs, they can just open a ticket here. And once they open a ticket, this is a standard workflow of Jira Service Desk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch my view at this point of time, and I'm going to go on to the admin side of it or the agent side of it. So let me go to the agent side. So this is my agent screen. So agent would be able to see all the issues that are opening. So they can just simply go here and they can look into their issues. So let me just quickly go here. And let me see all the issues that are available here. So okay, so this is list of all the issues that are opened by different customers, and this is the latest issue which is just opened. So agent can view this particular ticket. They can read the information about this ticket. So far you are familiar with that the related knowledge base article is recommended by Confluence, but with this integration, what you can see are the two new panels. Those are going to show up here. One is you have an opportunity to see the training history of this particular person who has reported this ticket. So you will be able to see what kind of trainings they have already taken, and you will see another small panel here where you can make some recommendation for a training. So what you can do as an agent, you can go search for some of the trainings, and if you think there is any training that may be a little bit more relevant for them, then you can just have that training and then you can make a recommendation to that training. So once you make a recommendation to that training, you will see that the ticket is updated, and in the ticket you can see in the comment area this recommendation is being made. And from a customer's perspective, if I change my view back to the customer and if I go to this particular ticket which was just open, you will see that the recommendation of the training shows up here. So they can just simply then launch from here. And this recommendation of a training could be a course or it could be an instructor-led event. So it is ultimately the similar things which was available to learners when they were initially opening the ticket, but the same recommendation can also come from the administrator. So this is kind of a flow from the end user's perspective. But other than an end user perspective, if I go back to the agent's view here, so one of the things you will notice in the agent's view that you will see this menu option called training. And in the training, there are two options available, training dashboard and a catalog. So those who are already using a Confluence, and if these agents are already part of your team, they must be familiar with this screen where agents are getting trained using the Confluence integration. But this basically takes it to a step further where these agents, if they are spending more time in the Jira Service Desk, then they have an opportunity to get trained right within from the Jira Service Desk rather than going into the Confluence. So that is just an additional benefit. But otherwise, these agents, if they are using Confluence, these both options of the training dashboard with these different tabs or the training catalog are available to them now in the Jira Service Desk. Now, one thing I wanted to also point out, the training catalog or the available course sessions for the agents would be different from those which are available for your customers, and you can control it because your agents needs to be trained. Some of the subjects area may be common, but then there are some additional and advanced area where your agents would be trained. So you have in EduBrite, you can set up the access control where you can make sure that the relevant courses are presented to agents as well as your customers. Now, before I complete my demonstration, I have one more small thing to quickly show you. So this is just a quick setup area where you need to be Jira Service Desk administrator. And if you are a Jira Service Desk administrator, you can go to the Manage Apps area. And this is the area where you are essentially linking your EduBrite LMS platform with your Jira Service Desk. So those who are familiar with EduBrite LMS platform, they know, for example, this is the EduBrite LMS site. This is where actually your LMS administrator goes and creates the courses, sets up the event, sets up the lessons, all those different access policies for the courses. But from the end user perspective, they would consume those trainings here. And this is the setup essentially. So you will find these different URL, username, or API related information in your LMS environment. And then you can just put that information. And basically, once all this information is set up, you can see the connected essentially. That means these two platforms are talking to each other. Then some of the other options are very similar to what is available in the Confluence. So you can control which of the groups available in the Jira Service Desk can be transferred over to EduBrite from the training to make the training available. You have some option for controlling your UI. So the dashboard, which we have seen, which had a multiple tabs, you can control if not all tabs are applicable for you. For example, if you are more on the self-paced learning, the instructor-led trainings are not useful, then you can turn off the, for example, these kind of tabs you can turn off. Similarly, this is from the search perspective. When the customer is searching on their help desk portal or Jira Service Desk portal, that time if you don't want to show them any events because you don't have events, you can select this option. So only the search result will contain the courses, course sessions, or the lessons. And the user management is also very similar to what is available in the Confluence, that you have an option to sync the customer groups and the members of the group to EduBrite to essentially set up the access for the users and what kind of courses they will have access to. So this is kind of at very high level the overview from the setup perspective. Not in today's session, I'm not covering the mechanics of how do you create courses and how do you create events in EduBrite. We have some other webinars. That process is pretty standard. The main focus here was from the delivery perspective, that how the customers and agents can take advantage of the trainings available from the Jira Service Desk. So with this, I'll go back onto the slides here. Brian, if there are any questions, otherwise we can cover the conclusion part.
Sounds good, Manish. I do have a few questions. I'll just run through the conclusion points here. So in summary, with case deflection, we can minimize our support ticket generation. Even in the case of created cases, we can have fewer churns or feedback loops between the agent and the customer with the knowledge base and LMS capability of EduBrite and having them already look at some training. We also have the machine learning that refines our queries and will also improve accuracy. Quicker resolution with self-help. If we imagine the happy path of the learner seeing the links of training and going straight to the training and resolving their own problem much faster than case creation and solving that. Instructor-led training, as Manish was saying, can be recommended for more complex issues going beyond an immediate fix situation. And the ability for the agent to view the customer's training history allows them to have some input as to what their level of expertise may be when addressing the customer needs and recommending the appropriate training. And then an educated customer is an advocate, and we always want our customers to be more educated and fully aware of all of our capabilities. So with that, I'll move over to the question and answer session. I've got one here, Manish. How does the app make its training content recommendations?
Yeah, so essentially it's a very similar to what you have seen those who are using the Confluence integration. We also make the recommendation based on the contextual search result, and we do have a machine learning in place. So as the data set grows, the system pulls the recommendation, and on the top it recommends the one which has helped solving the previous tickets.
That's great. And then is this a paid app or a free app?
So yeah, so that's a very good question. So this is a paid app, and I may have a screen open here. Let me just quickly. Yeah, so you can see this app is available on the Atlassian marketplace. This is where you can find it, and this is where you will find the pricing detail related to this particular app. So essentially there are two components. One is the LMS app, which is this add-on pricing, and then there is a pricing for the EduBrite platform, which connects using this app to the Confluence, or in this case, Jira Service Desk.
Great. And then there's a customer here who's saying, what if my training content is not granular enough? And if they don't want to have to sift through an entire course or a lengthy document?
Yeah, so that's where essentially the one of the things which we discussed in the beginning, that when this particular customer searches here for any type of questions they have, we make a recommendation, and this recommendation essentially is of an individual item that they can consume. So, and this is driven by the unique offering from EduBrite called Open Learning, which enables a micro learning solution. So you are directly pointing your customer to view that individual content, or consume that content, rather than going through traditional style where they have to go through a course, and the course will contain multiple of such contents.
I see. Thank you. And then in this day and age of immediacy, when would an instructor-led class be an appropriate recommendation?
Yeah, I think you covered that part. So I am, I mean, we have seen, just in being in this industry for so long, we understand that the different types of training requires a different types of a delivery. So there are certain things which always need, there is a value which instructor-led training brings. So if there are some certain complex scenarios, certain Q&A type of scenarios, or there are scenarios where somebody needs to watch over you, then in those scenarios, instructor-led training does carry its value. And that's why, from your business model perspective, you may be in a business where the instructor-led training has a higher value or maybe a lower value. But from the integration perspective, you have this beautiful configuration option available where you can make such trainings available to your user, whether they are self-paced, whether there's small content within the self-paced or instructor-led.
That's great. And then the last question we have is, how do they know the benefit of the training?
Yeah, so the benefit of training essentially is no different here than what are available by just going through the education. You definitely have the reportings available in the LMS, and you can view basically that how those trainings are making the impact, and you will be able to see the full details of those trainings. So you can see those people who have opened the tickets, how many of the trainings they have completed, or which of the trainings they have left in between. So you'll have a full visibility of the training they have taken, and then you can correlate that with the number of tickets that are opened.
Fantastic. There are no other questions at this point, Manish.
I have a couple of slides just to wrap it up. So let me just go over there. Next week, we are going to be at the Atlassian Summit in Vegas. So if you are planning to attend that, then please stop by at booth 1303. Would love to meet with you, hear your experience. If you have any questions, comments, feel free. We'll be having a live demo there, so you'll have that option. And another quick announcement here is this is already out in EduBrite social media. We are also running an online raffle, so you can find the details in EduBrite's Twitter account. So feel free to participate in that raffle. The result will be drawn at the last day of the summit. And as previously communicated, that you can always connect with us via the users community. And in the users community, you can go to the supports, our university side where you will find the various video tutorial, open learning, knowledge base, all those kind of things. And you also keep yourself up to date with the release notes. And I'll just quickly open, I may have a quick screen here. So for example, so this is our university site. So you'll definitely find all these different knowledge-based article, open learning area. But this is also the place from where you have joined this particular webinar as part of EduBrite's education series. But if you want to view the previous webinar recording, you can just simply go here and you will find this link and you'll be able to take advantage of the past webinar recordings. So feel free to revisit them or share with your colleagues. All right, Brian, is there any other question? Otherwise, I know this was comparatively a shorter webinar. Otherwise, we can conclude this webinar.
No other questions.
All right, well, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining EduBrite's webinar and look for more details. We have a Twitter account, or if you receive an email, we'll be notifying you with the upcoming webinar and staying connected with you. Thank you very much.